A tourist trap is defined as a place that attracts tourists and exploits them by charging high prices for food, entertainment, and other products. Tourist traps can be restaurants, shops, hotels, or other establishments. Patrick and Denise have traveled all over North America and have come across many tourist traps. Some were enjoyable and others were not worth the money and time. Come with Colorado Martini as they take you to some of the tourist traps they have come across.
The one state we have come across with the most tourist traps is Florida. Orlando is the biggest one with Disneyland and Universal Studios, but in this video we are going to focus on two that stand out the most in our recent adventures. Mr. Martini grew up not far from PCB, so he has been there many times, but this was my first time. We stayed at the Holiday Inn on the beach. The hotel was nice and we enjoyed our stay. Boy, what a tourist trap the hotel turned out to be. Between high-priced drinks and food to corny luau shows, I kind of felt like I was on a cruise ship. We both realized on that trip the first time we ever attended a luau was in Florida. I went to my first luau in Orlando and Mr. Martini there in PCB. Since when did Florida become Hawaii? As you drive up and down the main roads, it is one tourist trap after another. Everything from themed mini golf courses, restaurants, clothing stores, exhibits, and more. Would we go back to PCB? Well, only if we were meeting up with family and staying in a different area on the Emerald Coast. We were excited to go to St. Augustine, Florida for the first time. If you follow our channel at all, you know history is our thing. St. Augustine is the oldest known European city in the United States. It was settled by the Spanish in 1565 and left behind some of the coolest historical structures, including one of my favorite all-time forts, the Castillo de San Marcos. But intertwined with the history, there are many tourist traps. Between the historical places to see and the tourist traps, the traffic is a burden on the city. So a lot of the tours, like the trolley tour and stuff, they're good, but some of the things are just a little bit too cheesy for me. I just kind of think I would enjoy being on my own a little bit more and walking around. I totally suggest you taking them, especially if you have a hard time walking around, because it really takes you around the town. But I'm kind of bummed that I did the 2-day trolley tour rather than 1 day. I really didn't need the second day. So the Fountain of Youth was built as an amusement park originally, and there's like this little spring there, but archaeological digs have discovered that this was one of the original sites of the Spanish settlement. So it's just kind of ironic. Would we go back to St. Augustine? Yes, but we got caught sitting around waiting for tour trams to pick us up all the time. So we won't be doing that again. The city was very quaint and beautiful. We really enjoyed the food, historical sites, and wine tasting cruise. Maybe next time we'll go off-season. We came to Massachusetts for a family wedding. It was our first time in Massachusetts, so needless to say, we had to check out Salem. But we only had a day in Salem, which was not enough time to see many things. I have been told by many not to go to Salem in the month of October because the city is overrun by Halloween-seeking tourists. Our trip was at the end of September, and the weather was starting to get crisp, and the town was not overcrowded. It was perfect. We only had time to walk around the downtown area, see the famous cemetery, and have lunch. Every store there was geared to witches and the supernatural. The streets even had entertainers dressed up as horror characters looking for gratuity. It seemed like everyone was on one tour or another. Although everything was geared to tourists, we found it entertaining and appropriate for the town's famous theme. We really enjoyed Salem and want to go back, but this time with a lot more time on our hands. They have some very strange residents who live here. When you drive further south on the Massachusetts coast, you will come upon the quaint town of Plymouth. The town has really honed in on its heritage, as they should. It has a great replica of the Pilgrim Village and Mayflower ship, but when we were there, we had our eyes on one thing: lobster. It just so happens we parked in front of the famous Plymouth Rock on our way to lobster dinner. Quite the monument has been built for just a rock. But if you think about it, how do they know this is the exact rock? I had my doubts and was thinking this is just a tourist trap. Plymouth Rock is considered the place where the Mayflower Pilgrims disembarked in 1620. The Pilgrims did not refer to Plymouth Rock in any of their writings. The first known written reference to the rock dates from 1715. When it was described in the town's boundary records as a great rock. According to records, Plymouth Rock has been moved multiple times since 1620. So is this really the rock or just a gimmick? Who knows? It makes for a great learning tool, and I do recommend coming to Plymouth with your family. But whatever you do, have some lobster while you're there. I'm sorry, but this was the lamest place we have ever gone. But we were in the area and had to check it off our list. We went to the Alien Museum because there's not much more to see in Roswell. It was fun to get the pictures, but we could have done without it altogether. Would we go back to Roswell? I think not. Roswell? Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why the aliens landed here. They must have really needed fuel. Potty break? Nah.
What bothered me the most is that now all these kids going to that museum think that this is real history.
Well, it is a museum.
I don't know, I wouldn't bother. Just my opinion. We have been to Santa Cruz Boardwalk many times. Every time it is overcrowded. We always ask ourselves, why did we come back here again? The boardwalk is an amusement area and sits on a public beach, which is also overcrowded. You might recognize the area from the 1987 cult classic, The Lost Boys, which was billed as Santa Carla and not Santa Cruz. It hasn't changed much since the movie was filmed here. Not only is the boardwalk and the beach crowded, but the traffic is also in a constant standstill. Santa Cruz has some really nice beaches and cliff views to see. This is not one of them. Would we go back? Most likely, since we have a daughter who lives in the area. But most of the time, we will spend in those other beautiful areas that Santa Cruz has to offer. As Grandpa Emerson said at the end of the Lost Boys film, one thing about living in Santa Carla, I never could stomach all the damn vampires. I have been going to the Fisherman's Wharf area since I was a little girl, so the wharf has a special place in my heart. Around 1978, Pier 39 was developed into a tourist attraction. It was the first one built on the waterfront in over 100 years. The pier offers a variety of dining options, shopping, and family-friendly attractions. But as a local of the area, there are better restaurants in the city than Pier 39 has to offer. I only go there to see the sea lions and the view. To me, the sea lions are the best part of Pier 39. The fun sea animals used to lounge on the docks and boats next to the pier, but it became such a problem they tore out the docks and built special platform docks just for the sea lions. Would we go back to Pier 39? Yes, because my connection and love of the area always brings me back. I think most people will agree Las Vegas is one of the biggest tourist traps of them all. I am old enough to remember when Las Vegas wasn't so commercialized. It used to be about glamour, gambling, and getting good deals. But now it is overpriced and one big adult amusement park. I seem to always get stuck in Las Vegas for conferences, and I mean stuck. One time I was there for 14 days with back-to-back conferences. Mr. Martini usually tags along, and we do enjoy our time there. But it has gotten so crowded, expensive, and commercialized, we will not go back unless work is involved or there is a concert we really want to see. We have only touched the surface of some of the tourist traps we have encountered. Kindly let us know in the comments some of the tourist traps you have been to. And always remember, one person's tourist trap could be another person's treasure.